is exceeding my expectations. So the next thing we're going to do is also very exciting. We will have Crypto Megan coming up on stage, and she will be announcing our special guest tonight. So Crypto Megan, would you like to come on up? And thank you, audience, for being so amazing and so interactive. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so thank you guys all so much for being here and for that amazing introduction. This is a very special night, and we have somewhat of an unusual yet very intriguing guest. Most of you may have noticed him already. I would like to welcome here to this fireside chat Shibtoshi, the CEO and founder of SquidGrow. If you could please come down to the front. Big round of applause. All right. So yeah, you may have noticed some of his crew in the back. It's pretty unusual for a conference like this. I have to say, this is actually really a treat for me too, because it's something completely different. So we are going to get to know first the man behind the mask, although we never will know who the man behind the mask is. Let's get some background on you, Shibtoshi. Tell us a little bit about your about the beginnings of, I know you're an early Shib investor, and now you've come up with and founded SquidGrow, which is super popular, by the way. I saw it all over Twitter, and you've garnered an incredible community. So shed some light on a little bit of your background for us.
Absolutely. So my name's Shibtoshi. I got into crypto in 2011 with Bitcoin. Was introduced to it on the poker tables in Vegas. So that's that. First investment was $30K. Lost it the following night. After I read the white paper, it was off to the races. I've kind of invested in every cryptocurrency from Litecoin, Zcoin Cash, Ethereum, Shiba Inu, Hash AI, Evergrow. Sam back there. But yeah, so I took an interest in cryptocurrency pretty early on, and in 2022 of June, I decided to launch my own project to give a safe and secure place for my friends and family to invest, and SquidGrow was conceptualized.
Oh, I love that. A safe and secure place for your family and friends to invest. I mean, that's an amazing endeavor. So, but you had a particular attraction to meme coins, Shiba Inu being one of them. So how did SquidGrow come about? Like, how did that conception happen?
So, I invested in the Shiba Inu 5 hours after launch. I put 37 Ethereum into that, and in one main wallet, had $5.7 billion. Actually, when I first got into contact with Crypto Wendy, she was covering one of my wallets. So, yeah. Okay,
so $5.7 billion.
Lack of liquidity, but yeah.
Whoa, okay. So he's getting in at the beginning here. And so then what prompted you to create SquidGrow, besides the secure place for them to invest? Tell us the story behind that.
Yeah, so my friends were a little late getting into crypto and taking an interest. And as they started straggling into the crypto markets, they were kind of struggling to find decent projects to invest in. And there was a lot of rug pulls, a lot of money being lost. And one of my best friends back there, the Huntsman, actually twisted my arm and talked me into launching my project. So, yeah.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing, you just created a safe space, like you said, for your friends and family to invest. But I have to ask, so it's kind of like a bit of a paradox because you're anonymous. So in crypto, sometimes that's linked to, well, this could be a scam, or why doesn't the founder want to come out and put his face behind it? Yet here you are saying that you founded it for the very reason that you want people to feel safe. So how are you able to balance that out, and how are you able to garner the attraction of so many and the trust of so many without doxing your identity?
With transparency. Obviously, I'm anonymous for security reasons. I have a family, I have kids, and because the amount of money that I'm known to possess, that becomes a security. So, contemplating back and forth, anonymous, doxing, I waited out pretty heavily and opted just to keep my face covered.
In this case, it seems to be a good reason, and actually what we're all here for today, to discuss privacy and the importance of privacy going forward in this movement, and for these very reasons, right? It's one thing is not being doxxed because you don't want to stand behind your project, and another thing is because you want to maintain your privacy and security and safety.
I think as long as you're maintaining transparency with your community, and you're very vocal and open with anything that you might face in the space, I think with time, trust is built.
Yeah, especially, and so the cool thing about Web3 is that you don't necessarily need to be doxxed if you follow through on what you say you're going to do.
I mean, look at all the projects that have had doxed developers. I mean, I'm not going to throw shade at anybody, but there's been some big ones.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter in this day and age if your face is being shown or if it's not. I mean, 9 times out of 10, there's a lot more projects that actually have public devs, and they're rugging just the same as some of these little shit projects popping up.
Yeah, like literally rugging in the public eye. And so, I think that's the cool part about Web3 is that if you deliver on what you say you're going to do, it doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, if you're doxxed or not doxxed. So that's something really interesting to me. And I think it's cool that you've been able to establish that and grow this community in that way. I saw your tagline on Twitter is under promise, over deliver. And that's something for me that is huge going forward. So really cool. And then segueing into SquidGrow then, what are you trying to accomplish with it in all of the utilities within the SquidGrow ecosystem? Because there's so many different facets.
So SquidGrow, to kind of touch on that, so we're a tax token. We have a buy-sell tax. We're unique in the aspect that 100% of our buy-sell tax feeds into our liquidity. So you might be asking, who's paying for all the development? Where's the marketing coming from? How do we sponsor this event? How do we co-sponsor the NFT marketplace? I fund everything. And when it comes to our utilities, we want to add value to our community. So all of our utilities are revenue generating, and percentages of everything that's generated goes back into the chart in the form of a buyback or a liquidity injection, and that's adding value to our community.
Yeah, I read that you're all about giving back to your community now that you've made it to where you are, and you've established yourself as, at this level in the space, that's what your primary focus is with this project. And that's why so many people are so excited to be a part of it. So tell us more about the NFT marketplace. I know a lot of people are really excited about the new state-of-the-art NFT marketplace that you built, and we want to know more about the process of when you were creating Incubate. So can you walk us through that and discuss a little bit more how that came about?
So Incubate is our take on a NFT marketplace, and it's unique in the aspect that it's an all-in-one, one-stop shop marketplace. You can launch a full collection there. You can issue out whitelists, mintings, and you can just essentially just upload images and create an NFT collection. You can do everything that you need in one place. There's no need to pay a developer to develop a launch pad and hold a pre-sale minting, and then you transfer that to secondary market. You can do everything that you need to do for a collection on Incubate.
So it's like a one-stop shop that makes things easy for people in the space. That for me is super important. Like cut the friction down, like make it accessible, have people trust the process and be able to do everything in one place. Correct? Is that what you were going for with it?
Yeah, just a one-stop shop. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so then the host of tonight and somebody who's contributed a lot to this, Silent Swap, I'd like to transition to them a little bit and discuss that before we wrap up now. To do like a quick dive into what Silent Swap is and why having a non-custodial cross-chain privacy aggregator is important for people in crypto.
Yeah, so Silent Swap is one of our newest utilities that we've just came out. It's actually currently in audit with Surtech. It will be our 13th audit with Surtech, and we are gearing up for our first hack-in audit on this platform. But, what I've realized in this space, when it comes to large wallets that have assets in there, people track that around. If I want to send my friend some crypto or my family some crypto, they're gonna track those assets. So then it starts doxing everybody's wallets, internal wallets, and having the ability to have a platform that can anonymously transfer crypto assets to somebody else, I think is very important. So several months back, we decided we were going to build this privacy cross-chain aggregator. And the most important aspect of this is it's decentralized, it's non-custodial. So the platform itself never takes possession of your crypto assets at all. Like the user retains the private keys and are in full control of the assets being moved every step of the way.
And that's so important, as you all know. It's just the time-old saying, not your keys, not your crypto. And, you know, a lot of new people coming into the space, and even people already in the space, learn that lesson the hard way with Sam Bankman-Fried and the fall of many centralized entities. So that is the utmost importance. And what I see in Web3 is, or what people outside of the space, they see this privacy thing as like synonymous of scam, of, oh, this space is just sketchy, and you see these people operating on the fringe. But no, in our normal finances and day-to-day, do we want people to see what's in our bank account? Do we want them to know what we're doing at every second of the day, at every purchase we make, to who we're making? I mean, there's security risks in that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think of the day and age when you're buying groceries with crypto, and this grocery store's address is public, and somebody's tracking your wallet, and you pay for groceries at this public address. It's going to essentially dox your location, or when you're doctor's office, if you're paying a doctor's bill, I mean, do you want people to know kind of your movements in the space? Or I mean, I opt for privacy.
You and many other big people in space, for example, Vitalik Buterin from Ethereum, he's done a write-up on, the future of this space, and that security and privacy are paramount going forward. I mean, they're so important in making this movement, come to fruition and actually go forward and propel us forward. So very important. And one interesting question I think people in the audience might want to know about, speaking about, the perception of crypto being on the fringes and the scams and the dark road, Silk Road and all this stuff. What's the difference between Silent Swap and Tornado Cash?
That's a great question. So Tornado Cash, by definition, is a mixer. It takes everybody's funds, pulls them together, sloshes them around, and kind of change your assets, and you send them to addresses that you choose. But it's a smart contract is what Tornado Cash was. And, they weren't in compliance, they weren't under regulation, and, we saw what happened with that. The founders of that platform ended up going to federal prison. So, there's that. Silent Swap is, as I said, decentralized and trustless. We use decentralized exchanges to aggregate the liquidity pools. One added benefit to that is we aggregate smart prices. So what I mean by that is, we are essentially arbitraging different liquidity pools. So I'll give you an example in one of our recent tests. So moving $10,000 USDC to USDT, utilizing Silent Swap, the user, after all the fees and gas fees were paid, we ended up with $10,003. So actually gained money instead of losing it.
Wow, that's powerful.
Another example, $1,000 movement, USDC to USDT. After all the fees and gas fees were paid, $1,026. So we're aggregating different liquidity pools and covering all your fees, and you're still coming out positive. Now, we can't guarantee this every time. We've seen it mostly with stable coins, not so much like Floki, Shiba Inus, that type of thing. But it's a added benefit for sure.
Wow. I mean, it goes along with the theme of giving back to the community and giving back to the user and keeping the value there, right? Instead of sucking the value like a lot of protocols and a lot of things.
This is a for-profit utility, but the added benefit to my community is they're going to receive a percentage of all the revenue generated in the form of a buyback. So this is how to kind of what I touched on earlier. Obviously, all of our tax goes to liquidity. I pay for everything out of pocket. So these utilities coming out, I will start to pay myself back from revenue generated, but I'm also keeping in mind my community, and my community is going to benefit from that.
Wow. That's huge. That's so exciting. I can't wait to check this out and use it myself. I'm so glad that I got to host this panel today. It will actually be forever ingrained in my mind because I've hosted panels around the world at many different conferences with many walks of life, but never have I hosted a conference with somebody who hasn't been doxxed in a mask like this. And for me, it's really cool because you're able to transmit that transparency and the feeling of it behind without coming out. And I think that's the essence of Web3. So this has been really a real pleasure speaking to you today. Do you have any closing thoughts on the future of the space or where you want to see this headed?
Yeah, absolutely. Just one thing real quick. So you've never interviewed anybody that was anonymous?
I have not, actually. I guess it's even hard to talk about or think about because usually you think of anonymous not being a person who's sitting here talking to you, but rather a voice on the internet, for example, or, who's the Stock to Flow guy. I can't think of his name right now, but all the famous anonymous people who don't come to conferences. So this is not usual.
Definitely has its risks for sure. But any closing thoughts are, what we aim to do with SquidGrow is to put out game-changing utilities, and talk is cheap. Our quality will speak for itself. We take a lot of time, we take a lot of efforts to solve issues in this space with different utilities. We're not necessarily pioneering game-changing technology in some of the aspects. I will say that from all of our research on Silent Swap, we are the first decentralized, non-custodial privacy cross-chain aggregator, and a lot of big protocols that we spoke to seem to agree with that. But in the next couple of years, we're going to be self-sustaining. The whole point of SquidGrow is to put out these utilities to where we are self-sustaining, that no entity or no whale or no group of investors can hurt the project, and that protects our community.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, it's definitely on my radar now for sure. I'm going to look way more into SquidGrow, Silent Swap. I mean, that's really incredible what you guys have been able to accomplish. And, the trust that you've been able to gain and earn from the community by over-delivering, right? And under-promising, like it says on your Twitter. So, man, thank you so much for being here, Shibtoshi. I look forward to seeing everything that you develop in the near future. And it's been exciting talking to you today.
Thank you for your time.